Esa es la historia. I'm going to spar Ilia Topuria like
Yeah. Ilia Topuria, whatever, he's fucking tight.
He's dangerous.
He's tight. That shit is tight.
Everything is so sharp. His technique is flawless. Everything's flawless. His boxing is so dangerous. He's so dangerous everywhere. He's dangerous with submissions. He's dangerous with kicking. He's dangerous.
Scientists just proved that social media is literally rewiring your brain and destroying your dopamine receptors. This isn't some theory or clickbait headline. This is hard neuroscience with actual brain scans showing measurable damage to the parts of your brain that control pleasure and reward. They took heavy social media users and compared their brain chemistry to people who barely touch their phones. The results? Absolutely terrifying. We're talking about documented neurochemical changes that you can see clear as day in the data. Your brain on Instagram looks completely different from a normal brain. And what they found about the long-term effects is going to make you want to delete every app on your phone right now.
No other option.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Walking out of the Oval Office, into the cage, wearing the flag.
Entertaining.
I think we're going to main event it. I think we'll be the main event.
Boom.
Let's go. Once in a lifetime.
I'm totally guessing throwing shit.
The participants who were scrolling through feeds for hours every day had brain chemistry that was completely altered. We're not talking about subtle shifts here. These were massive, undeniable differences in how their brains were functioning. The dopamine pathways that are supposed to make you feel good, feel accomplished, feel satisfied with life. They were fried, completely rewired to only respond to the constant stream of likes, comments, and notifications. Think about what that means for a second. Your brain literally can't feel good anymore without that digital hit. Can't appreciate a sunset, can't enjoy a conversation, can't feel satisfied with real-world achievements because your reward system has been hijacked by algorithms designed to keep you addicted.
Ilia is laughing now because they have a like dirty boxing, really, you know. They just fighting hard, but there is like no good technique. But Ilia will be left now because Ilia has such a high level boxing.
But here's where it gets absolutely wild. The researchers still can't definitively prove whether social media causes these brain changes or if people with certain brain chemistry are just more likely to become addicted to scrolling. That's the million-dollar question that could change everything. Because if social media is actually causing permanent brain damage, we're looking at the biggest public health crisis of our generation. And the platforms know this. They have internal research showing exactly what their products do to developing brains, but they've buried it deeper than Big Tobacco buried their cancer studies. Meanwhile, they're actively working on making their apps even more addictive, even more impossible to put down.
Jai Herbert, and he went up to 155 for that fight. So he's a 45-pounder, and he said, fuck it, I'll take a fight at 55. He gets head kicked in the first round by... Jai Herbert is a nasty stand-up fighter. He's so good. He's real slick. He's real good stand-up, like real sharp stand-up. And he caught Topuria with the perfect head kick. And Topuria, he's in real trouble. He got dropped, and he scrambled, got a hold of him. Next round, sent him into the dark lands, blasted him against literally slept him, face planted him, and walk-off KO. He's an animal, dude.
He is.
He's a real problem because he's intelligent, he's dedicated, he's driven, he's got that kind of confidence that those championship guys have, where they know they're the best even before they're the best.
Now get this. While scientists are scrambling to understand the full scope of this digital brain damage, there's another story exploding that shows just how far people will go for attention and validation. Ilia Topuria isn't easing into his training camp like most fighters would. He's already fully embracing the chaos, preparing for absolute pandemonium, and there's one name that's been etched into his mind since day one of this intense training regimen: Justin Gaethje. This isn't just another fight brewing. This is shaping up to be a monumental clash that could redefine the entire lightweight division. We're talking about pure, unadulterated violence gearing up to unfold on the biggest stage in combat sports. And the way Topuria is preparing, it's like he's channeling all that digital age intensity into something primal and dangerous.
Him up. It's just tactically, he's so smart. So it's not just his ability, his skill, it's knowing when to apply it and how to adjust to different kinds of fighters. But the Jai Herbert one might have been the most impressive one. Dude, see if we can find that. He got head kicked. He gets hits with a switch high kick off the left leg right to the face, man. I mean, like this, he just dropped, which is, 99 times out of 100. It's like the beginning.
According to Joe Rogan, the first chilling warning sign that Ilia Topuria was a different breed came when he made that jump up to lightweight and faced Jai Herbert. Here's what happened. Herbert, a genuinely deadly striker, caught Topuria with a perfectly timed, absolutely brutal head kick right out of the gate. Most fighters would have crumbled under that kind of pressure. Their legs would have turned to jelly and they'd be face down on the canvas. But not Topuria. Instead of falling apart, he did something incredible. He processed that devastating blow like it was just data, raw information to be analyzed and countered. He stabilized himself with almost supernatural composure and then returned fire with pure malice. What happened next was like watching a predator claim what was always his. Herbert ended up unconscious, face down on the canvas after just one round.
That's who I'm fighting.
Oh, that's who you want.
That's who I have to have. That's why I fought for this thing.
That's why he fought for the damn thing. Y'all heard it. Topuria, Gaethje, let's make it happen.
Let's go.
UFC on Paramount Plus. We appreciate y'all. Stay tuned.
Joe Rogan has repeatedly emphasized that it's not just raw skill that makes Topuria so dangerous in the octagon. It's his timing. This guy knows exactly when to unleash his full devastating arsenal and when to completely pivot and change the entire dynamic of a fight. Think about that Herbert fight for a second. A switch high kick catching you flush on the chin ends 99% of fighters instantly. Lights out, fight over. But Topuria handled it like he was processing weather data. He absorbed the impact, made a lightning-fast internal adjustment, and then completely flipped the script. That single moment revealed more about his fighting IQ than any highlight reel ever could. It showed a fighter with an unparalleled understanding of how to adapt and overcome even when everything goes wrong.
Is it going to be a situation where they come to the center ring like Gaethje and Holloway and just throw leather?
Just go.
Justin Gaethje is my friend. I'm going to tell him don't do that with Ilia Topuria, man. You can't do that with him.
Yeah.
He hit so hard. When him and Charles Oliveira were fighting,
Yeah.
by the time Charles Oliveira hit the ground, he was already sleeping, man. Like
Damn.
Ilia hit him 2 to 3 times on the way down. So like before he even hit the ground, Ilia hit him with the right hand. By the time Charles is like knocked out and falling backwards, Ilia done hit him with an uppercut. He hit him with another right hand. And then some guys actually, you fall down, they do like that. The referee like, hey man, it's over. Ilia jump on you.
And that incredible adaptability is exactly why Justin Gaethje's recent words hit with such impact. Gaethje isn't entertaining rumors or waiting for official UFC announcements. This man is speaking with absolute conviction that this fight is already locked in. He's pointing to June and the White House card as the stage. Gaethje stated that this has been the plan all along, and that winning the interim title was just the price of admission to this destined clash. His message to Topuria couldn't be more direct. If you're already in training, you better be ready for everything that's coming. Because this isn't about negotiations anymore. It's about an inevitable collision between two of the most violent finishers in the sport.
There is a little bit of a question, and it's why I asked these guys, hey, is Ilia as good as everybody's saying? Like, is that what you're seeing? Do we have enough evidence? There hasn't been a time in the past where somebody beats Charles Oliveira and becomes the greatest thing ever. It didn't happen to Arman Tsarukyan, just for example. It didn't even happen to Islam, but it did happen to Ilia. And the 55-pound belt is a little bit tarnished right now. There is some real questions. When the number one guy, which is Arman, is not in the ring, it's a question. When the champion, who was Islam, leaves and is Ilia is sitting out, it's a...
But hold up. Even as Gaethje is boldly calling Topuria out, Daniel Cormier is stepping in with a serious warning. He's speaking directly to his friend Gaethje, pleading with him not to try and replicate the Max Holloway blueprint against Topuria. Cormier is crystal clear that approach simply won't work in this matchup. He emphasizes that Topuria's power isn't just heavy-handed, It's surgically precise and relentlessly persistent. Cormier points to the recent Oliveira fight as proof. Every single strike Topuria landed was calculated. Every blow counted for something significant. And by the time Charles Oliveira hit the canvas, he wasn't just falling, he was already unconscious. The message from DC is stark. Gietich can be tough, but Topuria is the kind of elite fighter who exploits even the tiniest mistakes and turns brief openings into fight-ending opportunities.
Palpable. Congrats to Justin Gaethje. I did say before the fight I want the best version of Justin Gaethje, and that Justin Gaethje turned up. So hats off to him. I hope he wins the undisputed title off Ilia, and hopefully we can run it back, even though I don't think he's got too many fights left. Hopefully we can run it back in the future, because there's a couple of things in that fight where that pissed me off, but you know, we get on with it. It's done now. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can go back and change. I just hope that in the future he can step up and have a rematch with me, but it's one of them. I know he's on the arse end of his career, so if he does end up just fighting Ilia and fighting Max or something and retiring, it's one of them. I'll have learned a lot from losing that fight.
But even with all these warnings and overwhelming hype, Charles Sonnen steps in to add a fascinating layer to this story. Sonnen questions whether all the praise being heaped on Topuria is truly earned, or if it's just momentum from one massive victory. Think about it. Beating Charles Oliveira, while impressive, has rarely catapulted a fighter to instant superstardom. It didn't happen for Arman Tsarukyan despite his incredible performances. It didn't happen for Islam Makhachev, at least not immediately, but somehow Topuria has captured lightning in a bottle. Sonnen also points out the broader context. The 155-pound division feels unsettled right now. The #1 contender isn't fighting. The former champion moved weight classes. The belt itself carries some tarnish. Still, Topuria is operating in a space very few fighters ever reach, and every move he makes will be scrutinized under the spotlight.
His timing, his instincts, his instinct to fire off in like his counterattacks. You know, he'll make you pay for every step you take. It's a hard fight.
Yeah,
Things have got to change in Gaethje's camp to make the fight competitive.
Yeah.
Right now, the Gaethje that fought Paddy won't beat Ilia right now.
Yeah.
But that's not saying that we'll see that Gaethje when he fights Ilia.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. Paddy Pimblett, having actually faced Gietich himself, has a unique understanding of what the most dangerous version of Justin Gietich looks like. And get this, he's placing his bets that version of Gietich could rip the title straight from Topuria's hands. This isn't idle speculation from Pimblett. You can tell he's already strategizing for a potential rematch, reflecting on lessons from his own fight against Gietich. His words underscore the stakes here. Topuria isn't facing any ordinary challenger. He's facing a battle-hardened, proven force who's evolved since their last encounters. The outcome could fundamentally shift the entire narrative of the lightweight division and reshape everything we thought we knew about both fighters.
Next up, we have Ilia. I feel like he has to be up the top of my list almost. Like almost at the very tippy top.
We didn't see enough.
Because of the work he did though. Yeah, I understand that, but he dismantled great after great and then moved up the weight class and dismantled another great. I feel like you can't disregard that. Yeah, I feel like you can't disregard the fact that he knocked out Volk and Max. And Volk's up the tippy top of my list because it's Volk, okay? He's defended it, he has ran that division since day dot, and it's Volk.
Not because
Like,
you're
I'm
Australian.
biased. All my picks are biased.
Yeah.
Everything I've done on this show has been biased. So, Volk,
You hide it well.
Volk's,
No one can
Volk's
tell.
my #1. Ilia's #2. Ilia's really cool, but
Full MMA record.
Really cool.
Volk is 31-1 at 140.
yeah, that's unbelievable.
Bonkers.
That is sick.
That's crazy.
But Volk and
Wait,
Max,
what? 31-1?
they were the
31-1.
boogeyman of that division.
MMA and UFC. It's just a UFC thing, but
Volk and Max were
That's
running
nuts.
through people. They were running through. There was like fights weren't close until they fought each other. You know, and then Ilia.
However, Robert Whittaker is absolutely not mincing words here. He sees Topuria as operating on a completely different level from anyone Gietich has faced recently. According to Whittaker, Topuria's striking alone is leagues ahead of virtually everyone on the UFC roster. And that's before you factor in his elite wrestling, dangerous jiu-jitsu, uncanny timing, and predatory instincts. Every step an opponent takes risks a devastating counterattack. Every opening is payment owed. For Gietich to have a chance, Whittaker states his entire approach has to change. The version of Geith that faced Pimblett isn't equipped to handle the overwhelming force that is Topuria right now. It's a reality check from someone who knows what elite-level competition truly looks like.
There's a lot of speculations going on. Oh, is Conor going to come back? Is John going to fight Pereira? Which Dana has kind of, is not uncertain about. But I believe with performance like this man has delivered each and every time, I believe Justin and Ilia potentially becomes the headliner for that card.
You're 100% right. And you're 100% right, and it should be. It should be. It should be. If you want to talk about, being fair competitively, especially in the performance that he puts, like, why wouldn't you? Right. In the perfect picture, you would want Justin to fight Ilia, beat him at the White House while being an American. Now, will that happen?
And it's not just select experts picking up on this talent. Everyone who follows the sport seems to be in complete agreement. There's a universal recognition of what Topuria brings to the table. The consensus is undeniable. This guy is something special and the whole MMA world is watching. But Whittaker isn't just offering casual praise. He's placing Topuria among the all-time elite legends of the sport. In his eyes, Topuria belongs at number 2 in UFC featherweight history. For years, Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway were the division's boogeymen, systematically destroying nearly every opponent until they clashed with each other. Then Topuria emerges and steps into that landscape, fundamentally shifting the story. He didn't just beat them. He dismantled both in a way that redefined expectations with precision, power, and timing that sets him apart from everyone else.
Ilia. They went in there and took out Volk and took out Max, right? And this is a guy that could beat anybody in the world at any given moment. He just didn't stay there that long. But what happens if he does stay at 45 and he gets 1 or 2 more wins? You got to also say that this guy's actually the GOAT of GOATs, because I feel like he took out Max still in his prime and Volk still in his prime, and Max had never been knocked out, and the way he took him out was cold, Same thing with Volk. I think Volk is still in his prime. He's showing he just defended the title. He looked amazing. Obviously, you can't say he's not in his prime. So I think Ilia also has to be entered already in that conversation at 145 of GOATs. I know he didn't stay there that long, but sometimes you're not there for a long time, just a good time. And my boy had fun at that weight, man, because he made some fucking noise.
The ripple effects of Topuria's ascent are undeniable. Legends like Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo see potential for something historic. They envision a White House headliner featuring Topuria versus Geith that transcends typical main events. As Cejudo frames it, an American fighter taking down Topuria on that global stage wouldn't just be a win. It would be a defining statement for the nation, a moment etched in combat sports history. This isn't about belts or rankings anymore. This showdown is shaping up to be a cultural moment where legacy and spectacle collide in front of the world. Jorge Masvidal weighs in, calling Topuria truly special, noting that if he racks up just a couple more wins, his legacy could become untouchable. Only an elite few can claim they defeated both Holloway and Volkanovski in their prime.
It's a good thing that Patty also didn't win, because if he did, he was going to get torched by Ilia. And I think Gagey just retires and rides off into the sunset because he don't want to see Ilia. I think both these guys are just like levels below Ilia, and that fight really, really showed it all. On the wrestling, on the striking, the defense, the offense. I think Ilia's on a whole other planet when it comes to these guys. And hopefully they give him just engages so you get another guy and do him like a lawn chair, and he's going to fold him.
Masvidal isn't holding back when expressing how far ahead Topuria is. He suggests Pimblett unknowingly dodged a nightmare by not winning his last fight, because facing Topuria would have been brutal. In Masvidal's eyes, both Pimblett and Geith are talented but a step below Topuria across the board. Wrestling, striking, defense, offense, Topuria eclipses them all. He operates at a superhuman level, and a showdown with Geith would provide the platform to showcase that dominance like an unstoppable force of nature. But Rafael Fiziev delivers a sobering dose of reality. Speaking on a potential Geith matchup, Fiziev admits he'd rather not see this fight happen right now. He points to Geith's age, nearing 38, and how he looked in his last fight. A stand-and-bang battle with Topuria could be extraordinarily dangerous, given Topuria's devastating power and surgical precision. So there you have it. Scientists proving social media is rewiring our brains, while fighters are rewiring the combat sports landscape with pure violence and skill. Topuria has dismantled legends, and positioned himself as the most dangerous force in multiple divisions. Gietch wants the fight, legends are warning about the dangers, and everyone's debating whether we're witnessing the rise of the most dominant fighter we've ever seen. This isn't just about one potential fight anymore. This is about the evolution of combat sports and how the most elite athletes push the boundaries of human performance. So here's my question for you, drop it in the comments. Do you think Topuria is already the greatest featherweight of all time, or does he need to prove himself against Gietch first? If this breakdown opened your eyes to what's really happening in MMA right now, smash that like button, subscribe for the latest fight analysis, and hit notifications because this story is just getting started. I'll see you in the next one. The thing is, while we're all getting hyped about this potential super fight, there's something absolutely crucial that nobody's talking about. The psychological warfare has already begun, and it's happening in ways that would make those social media algorithms jealous. Topuria isn't just training his body for this fight. He's systematically breaking down Gietch's mental game before they even step into the octagon. Every interview, every training video, every single social media post is calculated psychological pressure designed to get inside his opponent's head. And here's the terrifying part. It's working exactly like those dopamine manipulation tactics we talked about earlier, except now it's being weaponized in real combat sports. Look at how Topuria handles media obligations compared to literally every other fighter on the roster. While most fighters are either trying too hard to sell the fight or playing it safe with generic responses, Topuria speaks with this bone-chilling confidence that makes you believe he's already seen the future. He doesn't just predict victory, he describes exactly how it's going to happen with surgical precision. When he talks about finishing Gietch, he's not boasting or trash-talking. He's delivering a medical diagnosis. That level of mental dominance is something you can't teach, can't fake, and definitely can't ignore when you're the guy on the receiving end of those predictions. But here's where this gets absolutely insane. The UFC's Performance Institute has been quietly studying Topuria's training data, and what they're finding is rewriting everything we thought we knew about peak athletic performance. His recovery metrics are off the charts. His power output remains consistent even in the deepest rounds of sparring. His reaction time actually improves under stress instead of deteriorating like normal human beings. We're talking about physiological responses that border on superhuman. The scientists monitoring his training camps are seeing data that shouldn't be possible from someone who's been through the kind of wars Topuria has already fought. And get this, former UFC champions are now reaching out privately to study Topuria's approach. Guys who held belts for years, who thought they understood the highest levels of mixed martial arts, are asking to observe his training sessions. They want to understand what separates good from great and great from legendary. According to inside sources, even retired legends are showing up just to watch him work. They're not there to train or coach. They're there to witness something they've never seen before. That's the kind of respect and curiosity that only emerges when someone transcends their sport entirely. Meanwhile, Justin Gietch is dealing with pressure that goes way beyond normal pre-fight nerves. Every analyst, every former champion, every expert is essentially writing his obituary before the fight even gets officially announced. The narrative has already been decided in most people's minds. Topuria is the unstoppable force, and Gietch is the immovable object that's about to get moved permanently. That kind of external pressure can either destroy a fighter's confidence or forge them into something even more dangerous. And knowing Gietch's history, knowing how he responds when his back is against the wall, this might actually be exactly where he wants to be. But there's another layer to this story that's absolutely fascinating from a business perspective. The UFC is sitting on what could be the biggest pay-per-view event of the year, and they know it. Industry insiders are whispering about record-breaking gate receipts, international broadcast deals that dwarf anything we've seen recently, and sponsorship opportunities that could reshape fighter compensation forever. We're not just talking about a fight here. We're talking about a global entertainment spectacle that transcends combat sports and enters mainstream cultural consciousness. The kind of event that gets covered on regular news, not just sports networks. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Betting odds for this potential matchup are already moving in ways that professional gamblers have never seen before. The smart money, we're talking about the guys who make millions predicting fight outcomes, is split down the middle in a way that's creating absolute chaos in the betting markets. Half the professional handicappers see Topuria as such an overwhelming favorite that the odds don't make sense. The other half see Geeth's experience and power as the perfect storm to dethrone a rising champion. This level of uncertainty among the experts is creating betting opportunities that could make or break fortunes. And speaking of making fortunes, Topuria's team is already negotiating endorsement deals that would make established superstars jealous. Major brands that have never shown interest in MMA are suddenly throwing 8-figure offers at a guy who technically hasn't even defended his title yet. They're not betting on what he's done, they're betting on what he represents. The future of combat sports. The evolution of what it means to be a complete mixed martial artist. The kind of athlete who could carry an entire sport on his shoulders and make it look effortless. But here's the reality check that nobody wants to acknowledge. All this hype, all these predictions, all this build-up means absolutely nothing once that octagon door closes. Geeth has been counted out before, and he's made believers out of doubters by doing what he does best, turning fights into absolute wars where technique matters less than heart. He's the kind of fighter who gets more dangerous when he's hurt, more focused when he's behind, and more violent when everyone expects him to fold. That's not just fighting spirit, that's the kind of mental toughness that can't be measured by any performance institute. The truth is, we might be witnessing something unprecedented in combat sports history, not just because of the skill levels involved, but because of the perfect storm of circumstances surrounding this potential fight. You've got a rising champion who seems unbeatable meeting a seasoned warrior who thrives on proving people wrong. You've got international intrigue, generational talent clash, and the kind of stylistic matchup that creates instant classics. Add in the pressure of performing on the biggest stage in the sport, and you've got all the ingredients for either the greatest fight ever or the most devastating mismatch we've ever witnessed. The scary part? Nobody knows which one it's going to be until it happens.